Supreme Commander of the Korean People's Army, Kim Il-sung, on March 20th, guided a training for strike of targets by high-precision unmanned striker and destruction of low-altitude attacking cruise missiles of the enemy by self-propelled flak rocket. He was accompanied by Chae Ryong-hae and other senior officials of the Army. After receiving a report on the plan of training at the observation post, Kim Jong-un gave an order to start the training. High-precision unmanned strikers flew into the sky, belching flames, and turning their heads to the enemy position, directly hit the targets with merciless and lightning raid. Attentively seeing the strike of the high-precision drones with a pair of binoculars, respected Supreme Commander Kim Jong-un said the drones are fast and the ability to discern targets is very high. He said with great satisfaction that today they fixed the course and time of the high-precision drones in calculation of the distance to the sky of South Korea with enemy targets and examined the abilities to strike the targets. And it was confirmed that any targets of the enemy can be destroyed with high-precision strike. Then, self-propelled flak rockets began to fly to the low-altitude enemy cruise missiles. The moment the imaginary enemy's Tomahawk cruise missile flew into the sky of the training ground, lightning flame flew and hit the low-altitude attacking enemy cruise missile at a shot. Cheers of applause burst forth in the fire positions. Respected Supreme Commander Kim Jong-un said it was hit. It was correctly hit, and it was an exciting strike, and highly appreciated that he estimates the examination of the performance of the self-propelled flak rockets satisfactorily. Respected Supreme Commander Kim Jong-un gave instructions to further increase the efficiency of the high-precision drones and self-propelled anti-aircraft rockets, which demonstrated their might and make full preparations to mount high-precision strikes on any targets at any time. He said if the enemy dares to make any slightest movements, but considering the indestructible might of our People's Army, he will give an order to reduce to ashes not only the military objects and reactionary ruling organs in the operational areas of South Korea, but also the establishments of the satellite countries following the U.S. imperialist war movements of aggression against the DPRK and military bases of the U.S. imperialist aggression forces in the operational areas of the Pacific. He sternly said, the time of mere wars has gone. If that is thus now, destroy the enemy without mercy and totally exterminate, lest nobody can sign the document of surrender. Kim Jong-un put forward important tasks to grasp all the coordinates of the enemy targets in the operational areas of the southern half of Korea and put them in the unmanned striking means to strike any targets at any moment with high precision unmanned striking means of our style, and make full preparations for action of the People's Army according to the demand of the prevailing situation. Respected Supreme Commander Kim Jong-un had a picture taken with the officers and men who had conducted exercises successfully, stressing that all the officers and soldiers of the People's Army should be fully ready and wait for an order of the Supreme Commander for charge for national verification. Respected Kim Jong-un, First Secretary of the Workers' Party of Korea, First Chairman of the National Defense Commission of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, and Supreme Commander of the Korean People's Army, was present at the National Meeting of Light Industrial Workers and made an important speech. He said, it is of great significance that the National Meeting of Light Industrial Workers was held when we are vigorously speeding up the general march for the final victory, while demonstrating the independent dignity and invincible might of Sungun Korea all over the world. Light Industrial Front, together with Agricultural Front, is the main target in the struggle for the building of an economic giant and improvement of the people's living at present. We should build our country man-made Earth satellite manufacturer and launcher recognized by the world and proud nuclear state as a socialist paradise where the people enjoy a happy life, and for the purpose, it is necessary to concentrate efforts on light industrial front as well as agricultural front and make a breakthrough of victory. Now the U.S. imperialists and their followers are frantically conducting aggressive war exercises to check the advance of our party and people, speeding up the general march for the building of an economic giant and the improvement of the people's living in the spirit of having conquered space and succeeded in nuclear test. It is a firm stand of our party to prevent a new war on the Korean Peninsula and accelerate economic construction under peaceful circumstances and thus solve the issue of the people's livelihood as early as possible. The current meeting will clearly show the unbreakable faith and will of our party to resolutely smash the levers of the hostile forces to suffocate the DPRK through a great revolutionary upsurge and build the people's paradise while firmly defending peace and security of the country with the arms of Sungun. Rapid development of light industry of the country is a fruitful work to improve the material and cultural life of people, and at the same time an important political work to demonstrate the superiority and vitality of our socialist system, more firmly consolidate the single-minded unity of the party and people, and bring earlier the great revolutionary event of national reunification. The modern light industrial foundation the great Kim Il-sung laid with all his painstaking efforts from the green period of the arduous march to the last days of his life is a wonderful swift horse on which we can run like the wind along the course of victory. And if we ride the horse well, we can occupy the peak of an economic giant at a go. All the officials and workers in the field of light industry should clearly know the intention of the party. Smash the enemy's sanctions with active development of light industry in all parts of the country, and show to the whole world once again that Korea does what it is determined to do. Respectively, Kim Il-sung indicates the main tasks to be fulfilled in the field of light industry at present, and ways to successfully carry them out. He said the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea firmly believes that the officials and workers in the field of light industry would rise up with full confidence in victory and bring about a fresh turn in the development of light industry.
Preparatory committees for celebrating the Day of the Sun were formed in Ecuador, Guinea, Benin, and Romania on the 12th. Chairman and Secretaries General of the preparatory committees were elected at the inaugural ceremonies. The committees decided to organize meetings, lectures, film shows, and various other political and cultural events on the occasion of the Day of the Sun, the birth anniversary of President Kim Il-sung.
The National School Children's 1000 Re-Journey for Learning marchers arrived in Ganggae on the 19th. They left the historic land Papyeong on the 16th on the occasion of the 90th anniversary of the 1000 Re-Journey for Learning made by the great leader Generalissimo Kim Il-sung. The marchers laid floral baskets before the bronze statues of the great Generalissimos Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il in Ganggae City and paid homage to them. They held a meeting before the Ganggae post office to send a telegram to respected Marshal Kim Jong-un. In the post office, President Kim Il-sung had sent a telegram, arrived safely in Ganggae to his father Kim Hyung-sik on March 20th to 12 or 1923. Present at the meeting were officials concerned and the marchers. The telegram to Marshal Kim Jong-un was read out. In the telegram, the marchers reported to respected Marshal Kim Jong-un that they had left Papyeong on the significant day when President Kim Il-sung started the 1000 Re-Journey for Learning and safely arrived in Ganggae across high and rugged passes. They made a pledge to always go straight forward regarding the 1000 Re-Journey for Learning made by President Kim Il-sung and opened by the fatherly Kim Jong-il as a long road of Sungun Revolution to follow to the end under the guidance of Marshal Kim Jong-un.
Che Tae-bok, chairman of the Supreme People's Assembly of the DPRK, met and talked with Ajay Kumar Sharma, new ambassador, extraordinary and plenipotentiary of the Republic of India to the DPRK, who paid a courteous call on him at the Monthly Assembly Hall in Pyongyang on the 19th.
The spokesman for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the DPRK answered the Korean Central News Agency on the 20th as regards the sally of the strategic bomber B-52 into the Korean Peninsula by the U.S. imperialist aggressor forces. The spokesman said, U.S. Deputy Secretary of Defense Carter flew in South Korea on the 18th and discussed with the South Korean Minister of National Defense Kim Kwan-jin about joint South Korea-U.S. countermeasures against our threat. He said in order to demonstrate the U.S. will for defense of South Korea, The strategic bomber B-52 will participate in the U.S.-South Korea joint military exercises on the 19th, and such flight will continue in the future. The introduction of the strategic nuclear striking means into the Korean Peninsula, whose situation is on the verge of war, is an intolerable provocation to fathom what our strongest will is like. We are now sharply watching the movement of the strategic bomber B-52. If the strategic bomber sallies to the Korean Peninsula again, the hostile forces will face strong military countermeasures, the spokesman for the DPRK Foreign Ministry stressed.
The United States announced that B-52 long-distance strategic bomber, means of preemptive nuclear strike, would be sent to South Korea on the 19th. It was revealed through secret talks between U.S. Deputy Secretary of Defense and the South Korean Minister of National Defense on the 18th. On the other hand, the United States said priority would be given to the arms build-up in South Korea, and the plan for sanctions against the DPRK specified says to pressurize the DPRK militarily.
Emergency action against war and for peace of the Korean Peninsula, consisting of more than 30 organizations of South Korea, including the Solidarity for Progress and the Strength of People to Change the Society, held a meeting in Seoul on the 16th in protest against the North-targeted joint military exercises.
The South Korean Seoul Central District Prosecutor's Office has been investigating Lee Jong-hee, representative of the opposition Unified Progressive Party, since March the 17th on charge of violation of the national security law. The prosecution commits such outrages for the reason that Lee termed the key results and Full Eagle joint military exercises now underway across South Korea, North-targeted exercises.
The North-targeted joint military exercises of the United States and the South Korean war hawks are condemned in the United States. The representatives of the International Action Center and Koreans in Los Angeles staged a demonstration on the 14th, chanting anti-U.S. anti-war slogans. The New York chapter and the Los Angeles chapter of the International Action Center on the Internet denounced the U.S.-sponsored UN Security Council's resolution on sanctions against the DPRK.
The press statement of a spokesman for the Ministry of the People's Armed Forces was reported by mass media of China, Russia, Cambodia, Thailand, Pakistan, Iran, Myanmar, Egypt, Nigeria, and Japan, and the internet homepage of the International Alliance of Societies for the Study of the Church Idea and Sungan Policy in East European and Central Asian regions between the 13th and the 15th.
Joint statements were recently issued by the Peruvian National Independence Movement for Free Voting Union and the General Kim Jong-il Amicable Institute of Peru, and the Peruvian Committee for Remembering Generalissimo Kim Jong-il, and the Peruvian Committee for France and Solidarity with the Peoples, and statements by the Workers' Party of the Democratic Congo and the Peruvian Group for the Study of Kim Il-sung-ism, Kim Jong-ilism, in support of the statements of spokesmen for the Supreme Command of the Korean People's Army and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the DPRK. Meanwhile, a joint statement was recently made public by the Dnepropetrovsk office of the Ukrainian Treasure Sword of Sungun Association for the Study of the Church Idea, the Soviet Officers Union, and the Soviet Center, statements by the Japan-Korea Society for Scientific and Educational Exchange, the Gunma Prefecture People's Council for Japan-Korea Friendship and Solidarity, and the British chapter of the Korean Friendship Association, an information by the France-Korea Friendship Association, and press statements by Viktor Yegorov, chairman of the Russian Karelia DPRK Friendship Association, and Ivan Fulkhai, chairman of the Moscow Veterans Committee, denouncing the U.S. imperialists and the South Korean puppets for their key resolve and Full Eagle joint military exercises. The Russian Association for Promotion of the Study and Dissemination of Comrade Kim Jong-il's works and the Kim Jong-suk Library in Peru issued a statement on the 12th in denunciation of the UN Security Council's resolution against the DPRK.
The Chinese internet homepage Media4 posted on the 17th an article titled, "Why did the DPRK nullify the armistice agreement? Who wants war?" exposing the U.S. imperialist new war movers on the Korean Peninsula. And that's the end of the news read by Che Jun-lam and Kim Jun-il. This is Voice of Korea. This time we present a female solo and male chorus. Where are you, dear General? A song from the revolutionary opera, The Story of a Maid, created under the wise guidance of the great leader Kim Jong-il.